Knicks for 2 years and the LA Sparks for 3. Dorsey High School's football team will play King Drew at the Coliseum in a city section matchup on October 27th. Rams coach Sean McVay said wide receiver Cooper Kupp will miss the first 2 preseason games. Kupp is recovering from a hamstring injury. The Chargers are expecting their defense to be one of the best in the NFL this season with the addition of former UCLA linebacker Eric Kendrick. Kendrick was an 8-year standout with Minnesota. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune in KBLA 1580 to get the map. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio on the side of the nation. Me and Dominique di Prima go way back. Time finally making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. With hopes of black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about how maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. First things first with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique di Prima. Go, sis.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I am Dominique di Prima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing, always, God Almighty, giving thanks, giving praise to the Most High, asking for His blessings, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go, let's go, let's go. It's a Talking Point Tuesday, which means we have even more to talk about than usual. Now would be the perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Typically, hour one, we look to the local. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person of interest or a topic of importance. Well, today, in hour three, we'll be talking with Del Harrison. She's a comedian, and she's quite funny, but we never see eye to eye on politics. It must be extra conservative Tuesday around here. Del Harrison will be joining me, so that'll be lively and funny. Hour two, we are being joined by conservative economist, president of Knowledge and Decisions Economic Consulting, and a member of Project 21, Michael Austin. That'll be the top side of the hour, and the bottom half of the hour, we're leaving it wide open for you to respond, because many times when I have my friends or new acquaintances on the other side of the aisle, y'all have things to say about it. But, of course, you're invited in every hour, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580, starting with now when it's me, you, the telephone, the microphone, and your brain, whatever is in it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you I am showing up with an attitude of gratitude this morning. So many people helped to pay tribute to my mom, the former poet laureate of the city of San Francisco, and so many people came out. We did the event at the Castro Theater, historic Castro Theater. It's like one of those old-style movie houses in San Francisco, in the historic Castro district. And my mother's husband was there, Shepard Powell, and the great beat poet. She's actually known in many different poetic movements, Anne Waldman, the current San Francisco poet laureate who is off the charts, Tongo Eisen Martin, indigenous poet, and like MC extraordinaire, Kim Shuck was there, indigenous poet, Cedar Saigo, and then, of course, the children, the grandchildren. Rick Salinas from Culture Class performed, and it was quite captivating. Renowned jazz pianist Alexander Marlowe, who happens to be my brother, played along with David Labatt, the drummer. Thank you, David. People just stepped up, whether they were actually donating money to help us pay for the theater and the programs and all that. And lots of people did. And I'm so very grateful. And I want to be thanking you guys over the airwaves in days and weeks to come. But also donating their talent, right? The poets, not just donating their talent, flying themselves out and, really volunteering to help with everything, from putting artwork on the walls to printing programs, and of course my family. Wow, everybody did an amazing job. We put aside our sibling rivalries and petty family BS to lift up my mom, who is, a poet of note. But I want to say this, a lot of times, and you already know this, women in fields, whatever the field might be, whether it's hip-hop, as we get ready to celebrate 50 years, whether it's engineering, math, hidden figures, whatever it is, we tend to be less celebrated and have fewer opportunities. So I'm glad we got the opportunity to do so. I want to thank the LA Sentinel for scooping everybody else and publishing a really nice story about the event that we were doing. And then, of course, maybe a week later, the San Francisco Chronicle on yesterday published a really nice article. So, we feel like I'm always picky. I wish I could have did this, did that, but it turned out really nice. I'm so thankful to all of you who helped us to do that, and including I got my 49ers on, celebrating a little San Francisco spirit with a former San Francisco poet laureate and the current one celebrating my mom, who was also a former one that came in between those two. And Dr. Harry Edwards, much love to you, one of the big supporters of the event, also happens to be a member of the San Francisco 49ers as a sociologist and consultant. Of course, I could go on, but I won't, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's still up on the Facebook page called Diane di Prima Park, because we streamed it. Diane di Prima Park on Facebook if you want to see it, or just scroll through and see bits of it. You are more than welcome to do so. So good morning. Happy Talking Point Tuesday. The City of LA is on strike today. City workers on strike today. So, it's not a good day for you to go to, say, City Hall and try to get some stuff done. It's not a good day for you to, any number of things that have to do with city events. Problematic right about now. If your trash usually gets picked up on Tuesdays, they are coming tomorrow. It's a one-day strike, but our hot labor summer continues. And I don't know this for sure, but I imagine, I do know this for sure, that if there's no resolution to the issues on the table, we can probably expect more of these kinds of labor actions, just like we've seen with the hotel workers, the rolling strikes where they're at one hotel for one period of time and another hotel for another period of time. This is SEIU Local 721. So it's county and city employees across Southern California. It's 11,000 city workers and county workers who are piecing out. That means lifeguards. They gave a line pass to airport security, so I guess that means your airports are just as safe as they ever are. I mean, TSA, of course, is federal, but talking about the city, county folks that work there. But, sanitation, custodians, all those folks will be on the picket lines today. And the animal shelters will be closed. Probably, I'm not telling you to park illegally, but if there was ever a day you might get away with it, it's today. And I think that, of course, whether it's convenient for you or not, it's important for us to stand with the workers for them to get their fair share. So that means all the trash is going to be delayed by one day, and apparently it goes back to the usual schedule, August 14th, unless it doesn't, but I think it will. And, think about things like public pools. Probably you should do your little inflatable pool in the backyard today, because we don't know exactly what's going to be happening, and neither apparently does the Department of Rec and Parks. If you want to fly, leave extra time, et cetera, et cetera. It's a hot labor summer, and right now the city and county workers are on the march on this day. It's a Talking Point Tuesday. Love to hear what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Everybody's talking about the riverboat tussle. Probably want to dive a little deeper into that when comedian Della Harrison gets here. But also, love to hear your thoughts on that, the strike, and so many other things that are going on the left coast. That's all on the table when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique di Prima when we come forward.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
I gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up 40 days of consistency, all over trees, car clips right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. And breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice and injustice, the courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Areva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Areva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
That flatweed shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique di Prima right now.
Right now, you talk about a word I can't say on the radio. How do I say this? An ish show. A crap show? Can I say that? Okay. Well, the little kids, you know, the pre-K or TK is about to start. Right, because now kindergarten, traditional kindergarten is not really pre-K, I guess. I think of it as pre-K because you could be as young as 4 to enter kindergarten in California now. And this is new, right? So imagine a bunch of kids showing up in the classroom that may or may not be potty trained. That's a whole situation. And here's the thing, if you're a mommy or a daddy or an auntie, or a foster person, these babies are going to be facing different rules in every school. Every school district going to handle it differently. But the state is now requiring them to accept the babies whether they're potty trained or not, which is crazy. It used to be you couldn't even get your kid into preschool. Back in my day, you couldn't even get your kid into preschool if they weren't potty trained. No, that's not true, actually. Back in my day, they have a protocol for changing your kid, but there was a time when you couldn't get your kid into any school without potty training. That is no longer true in California. So, as they say on TV, check local listings. You have to find out, because some schools are like, if your kid has an accident, you have to immediately go pick them up, which is going to be tough if you're working on an hourly wage type job, but that's the plan. So, poopy kids waiting for parents. They're going to have to work this out. But, it's back to school season. And so I think a lot of kids start back next week. So all of these things are going to have to get worked out. And I think that's a huge one. Talking about the strike, by the way, the mayor says that the city's is not going to, shut down. And it doesn't seem like it is, but it's a one-day thing. So, 1, solidarity. 2, it's good to know. Like, it's not a good day to go do something in the city and county if you can do it tomorrow, right? Let's not cross the picket lines if we don't have to. It's not an ideal day to go to a public pool. The Writers Guild and the studios met on Friday, but it doesn't look like it was super helpful. We don't have any word of any progress from those talks. I think it's good that they actually met. Maybe it's a tiny step, but the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, came to and it's the same group that's bargaining with SAG, right? It's Walt Disney and Warner Brothers and Discovery and Netflix and some other media companies, Apple, some other ones. So, yeah, the WGA kind of said, don't get your hopes up, which is really sucky. It would be nice if there could be a resolution because people are feeling this already. And, those secret sources, the people that are always speaking when they're not authorized to speak, say that the negotiations were not productive. So hopefully that doesn't mean that they cannot be productive. They were not productive. And that's not good. But again, you know, I hope that folks are backing off of this zero F's policy of like, we're going to make you bleed out, lose your house, because it's not, if you're punishing the writers or you're punishing the actors, you're not just punishing them, you're punishing the entire Southern California economy, the caterers, the florists, the makeup artists, the hairstylists, the costume people, the photographers, all of this giant ecosystem that is centered around our entertainment business. So I think that it's not that simple. Oh, I'm just going to bleed out these directors, bleed out these actors. It's nothing but entertainment. Well, entertainment is a job, just like any other job. Just because it's glamorous and fun to me and you, the fact is it's still a job, and people got to keep their lights on, feed their kids, buy those expensive back-to-school supplies. Man, that stuff will run your bill up. Backpacks and pens and pencils and all that stuff. And the majority of actors are not rich like The Rock. The majority of actors are, struggling. A lot of them, if you just look at acting, are making far less than minimum wage. And it's interesting because you get that one job and it might pay well for that one day or 2 days or that week or 2 weeks that you're working. But you got to add in all the gas and all the wear and tear on your car and all the time and travel that it took to get that one job, because you got to go to auditions. You're driving all around Southern California, burning up your gas with no guarantees that anything ever comes out of it. I guess you could say it's a job interview, but most people do a job interview. You do that for a period of a month or two or however long it takes you to find a job. And then after that, you go to the job every day until you leave it. But with acting and writing, you're constantly at a job interview. And when you win that job, it could be for one day. It could be for a week. It might be for 2 or 3 months. It could be for a couple of years if you get a, series regular. But most actors will go their whole life and never land a series regular job, right? I think about Vanna White before she landed that job. Of course, that job has been lasting like 100 years. But prior to that, she was, I think, out on 1,000 auditions, about to give up, without booking one. Hopefully, most of us can do a little bit better than 1,000 to 1, but there's no guarantee. So we got to get our town moving again. Yeah. It's, I think it's important for us to talk about it, because on the talking point side of the entertainment piece is that actors are rich, they're well paid, they're pampered, they're asking for too much. What was it that Bob Iger said? They're not being realistic. Having the ability to feed my family and not have my likeness, my voice, my essence replicated by AI, so you don't have to pay for the me that is me, my soul, my essence. Sorry, that's not unrealistic. I mean, there was a time when having a 5-day week was considered unrealistic. People worked 7 days a week. The only reason we have a 5-day week and that thing we love so much called the weekend is because of unrealistic union organizers. So whether you are in a union job or not, you generally have a weekend. Or if you're working the weekends, you have a 5-day week. You get another day or two off. Most people do. Some work 6 days. But most people work a 7-day week, a 5-day week. Yeah, it is like a 7-day week now with email and text. People want to reach you when you're supposed to be off. But that's a whole other conversation. Technically, you have a weekend. Technically, you could turn off your phone and practice self-care Saturday and Sunday. We don't. I think the Generation X, though, is going to get us there. No, Gen Z is what I'm talking about, not Gen X. Gen Z, because Gen Z is on that self-care, soft life. You know, it's not all about grind, grind, grind. And I agree with them, by the way. I hope they win that battle. Because we're not just cogs in a wheel. We're meant to have, like, a life. And the only way we do that is through labor, banding together, uniting. Yeah. So Alabama is on everybody's minds, and I think that's a good thing because it means we're paying attention. What do I mean by that? Paying attention as black people to other black people and issues that impact us. I got a lot to say about that. Like I said, I'll hold most of it for the 8 o'clock hour. But if you want to weigh in on it now, you know, I'm here for that because I think this is one of those situations where the national is very much local in the sense that we often, let me not say always, we often complain that black people have no unity, right? We don't have each other's backs. And I like to push back on that talking point that we tell ourselves and each other. To me, that talking point is the cousin of N-words ain't ish. Or, you know, the we trifle in talking points. Because it doesn't recognize the fact that we are very often united. And you look at the election of President Barack Obama, it was like 90% of black people voted for Obama. I don't know that there's ever been such unity recorded in the history of any ethnic, racial group of people. So what I'm talking about, in case you've been under a rock, is this fight that happened on the docks when a security guard who was out doing his job, a black security guard, asked a small boat, manned and woman by white people, to move so that a larger boat can dock. In other words, doing his job, and then he was attacked by a group of white men. It started with one, and then they all piled on and started. You see the video, it looks like it's about to be a lynching. And then black people start coming from everywhere to get this guy's back. And it turns into a huge brawl, people getting thrown off the water and thrown off the dock into the water. And it's you know, if you watch it, people say largely along racial lines. I didn't see anything there that wasn't along racial line. It was black people trying to defend another black guy from what appeared to be a lynching in progress. And if F around and find out was a situation, if F around and find out was a video, yeah, that's everywhere. And I just think, you know, there's implications to every single thing we talk and think about when it comes to black people and unity and how our justice is meted out. News, traffic, and sports, then more conversation with you on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Diane di Prima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Crews are working to restore power across some areas of the eastern U.S. after storms battered the region Monday. At least 2 people were killed and more than 1 million people lost power at the height of the outages. Tornado watches and warnings stretched across 10 states from Tennessee to New York with high winds sending power lines into homes and roads. A mother from Los Angeles, California, is suing Southwest Airlines for racial discrimination, claiming employees accused her of trafficking her biracial daughter. In 2021, the mother, who is white, was flying with her then 10-year-old daughter, who was half black, from San Jose to Denver. The woman says police were waiting for she and her daughter when they landed in Denver. They were eventually allowed to leave after getting questioned by officers. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Fall
into autumn hiring with Indeed. Their all-in-one solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers put up 13 runs in San Diego on Monday. Mookie Betts hit a grand slam. He now has 31 homers this season. The Dodgers take 3 or 4 from the Padres to move to 19 games over 500. Former Lakers star Derek Fisher is the new boys basketball coach at Crespi High School in Encino. He coached the New York Knicks for 2 years and the LA Sparks for 3. Dorsey High School's football team will play King Drew at the Coliseum in a city section matchup on October 27th. Rams coach Sean McVay said wide receiver Cooper Kupp will miss the first 2 preseason games. Kupp is recovering from a hamstring injury. The Chargers are expecting their defense to be one of the best in the NFL this season with the addition of former UCLA linebacker Eric Kendrick. Kendrick was an 8-year standout with Minnesota. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I don't believe it. KBLA Talk 1580. If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580. By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Got your black. I don't believe it when they lead up. I don't believe it.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like Sprinklers in the Rain and Leaky Faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
What does access mean?
Access means owning a home. Access means growing my business.
Access means building generational wealth.
No matter your goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Programs and Initiatives provide the tools and resources to help you reach them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you and the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique di Prima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. I always appreciate you. I guess rapper Torey Lanez sentencing will continue today. The judge heard a bunch of I think there were 76 letters submitted on Lanez's behalf, including one from a police chief in Missouri and all kinds of folks talking about his charitable giving. His own defense team said if this happened, that Lanez would benefit more from rehab than a long sentence. But Megan Thee Stallion said she wants him to throw the book at him. I mean, she wrote a letter basically saying, he's not just because of him shooting her in the foot, but because of all the things he did, including trying to turn everyone against her and claim that it never really happened, that he should get a higher sentence. The maximum sentence would be 22 years. I think prosecutors have asked for something like 13. I know, Miles, do you want to weigh in on this? Because I know you're an artist, but here's the thing I'm thinking about. The judge said that it is true that Torey Lanez has not shown remorse, but the judge said they won't hold that against the artist because a person has a right to declare their innocence in court. Why does that not apply to Councilmember Mark Ridley Thomas? Prosecutors are asking for 12 years for Ridley Thomas, and one of the things that they cite is that he hasn't shown remorse or admitted guilt. Why would you do that when you're pleading not guilty? You can't have it both ways, judicial system. Either we have a right to say we're not guilty and defend ourselves, and I understand the idea of remorse. It would be wonderful but I don't think you show remorse when you're trying to defend yourself and say you didn't do a thing. Now, I happen to be one of those people that believes Megan. And I think if you look at the actual evidence and not just the social media chatter, you too would believe Megan. But maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if the judge is saying, okay, Torey Lanez gets a pass because from a longer sentence due to the fact that he didn't show remorse, because we have a right to proclaim ourselves innocent, why does the same not apply to council member Mark Ridley Thomas? Some members of the black press were applauding this, and I don't understand that. To me, that means you do not have a good grasp of what this guy is really accused of, and B, the things he has done for the city and county of Los Angeles, for black people. I think, the pastors and Tavis Smiley and everyone running in to try to defend MRT is a bit like, the political version of that riverboat situation that we saw. Especially when you look at the alleged roots of why that case was brought, right? If, in fact, as reported, alleged, Rick Caruso, well, we know he initiated that investigation, but if he did it to take Ridley Thomas out as a potential competitor in the mayoral race, that is someone being attacked while they're doing their job, minding their business. And you could say, well, he should have watched his back more, but you can't have two standards. When I think it's convenient, then you get to defend yourself, but when I don't think it's convenient, that means you didn't show remorse. Let's go to Kwamel calling us from Gardena. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. I am coming to talk about them things. You know them things, them eye jammies, them speed knots, them tips that got put on folks. They all say, them heads getting flown. First,
broken crocs.
Going to that. Oh my God! They actually look like actual crocodile heads when they went over the people's legs. That was hilarious. If you really look and really deep. No, but the thing you were just talking about, I want to get into that a little bit. It's tough because the court of public opinion loves to find a thing to pile on. For instance, with the Lizzo thing with the dancers. A lot of times, something get thrown out there, and benefit of the doubt, the ability to look at someone as innocent until proven guilty just goes out the window because suddenly it's just that effect of, I gotta have an opinion, I gotta weigh in, I gotta condemn this person, or I didn't like this person in the first place, so now I have my excuse. And that gets out of there with many people, and the floodgates are just open. it just creates a fat mess.
Yeah, but
now in Margaret Thomas's case, I guess because the younger generation and the social media world, I haven't seen anything about him like that on social media.
Yeah, I have a little bit, not a lot. You're right; it's not a hot topic for the Gen Z, but I have seen some stuff, and it bothers me. Even if he had done something more egregious, it bothers me to see black people celebrating the demise of someone who's been a great leader for us. You know, and you're probably benefiting from stuff he did that you don't even know you're benefiting from, and you're over here doing a happy dance. I think the Lizzo situation is more complex. What do you do? I mean, we're supposed to believe the victims, but we're also supposed to give due process, right? When it comes to Me Too, that gets tricky.
I do appreciate that she jumped up and actually spoke out, and in a way that seemed human, as opposed to that prepared statement you usually see.
Yeah.
Now maybe she was counseled about it. I didn't want to get specifically focused on Lizzo, but I think it all ties in a thread of how these things are handled and how the court of public opinion may or may not just kind of take a thing and run with it anyway and just decide, well, here's what we think about you, no matter what actually happened, no matter what the truth is, no matter what person you were actually trying to be. We want to say this just because, it sends a thrill down the leg, you know what I mean? And that thing sometimes just cannot be controlled if things just are let it go forever.
But we always need stuff to talk about. And I think some of it is how we talk about it, right? I mean, explain, Marlon Wayans' take on the Riverboat thing to me. I don't get that at all. Like, why would you step up and say black people shouldn't be defending themselves? I didn't see it. I haven't seen that yet. So I can't speak to the Marlon Wayans thing. What I can speak to, however, is usually we get on this whole thing where we say that old kind of trash panda thing. We got to do better. Well, guess what? We did better. Because the thing I felt the same pride as a lot of people on Black Twitter. A lot of people on Black Facebook brought it up too, and it was just that idea. A lot of folks that care about Black people said, "Yeah, that's the code we need to be on." I thought the same thing. That's the code we definitely need to be on. A code thing I thought, but I didn't want to trigger the homophobes is. That should have been like a Stonewall riot of 2023, because the Stonewall riot triggered a full-on movement and a new way of folks to think. Now, this doesn't get around to people as quickly and can be seen as another social media throwaway thing, which is also a problem because we think, okay, we got this TikTok moment, we got this Instagram Reels moment. So it's just kind of, we're gonna have a little weekend with it and it goes out the window. But it does speak to the need, and I'll leave you with this, of getting on code again, getting on, look, okay, this is how we stick together, Black men and Black women. We don't go, bad mouth and sour mouth and one another, online. We don't go playing they're over on the plantation game. We don't go playing we got to do better game. We go do better. And we say, you know what? The skin folk, we don't treat them as kin folk right now until, we don't treat them as skin folk right now and do what's right for our people especially when we're surrounded in a place where, it could get a lot worse. And we always wanted to move to Alabama. I was like, I understand the assignment. But people that understand the assignment do good things. When bad things happen, like LOG says, good people respond. And I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Kwamel. Yeah, I mean, also, I think the other thing people are mad about Marlon is that he posted an edited video, which made it look like Black people were the attackers, and then the post, "Let's all just be love, not war." It reminds me of those body cam videos that are conveniently edited to make it look like the law enforcement is not at fault. And then that's the only tape that's released. I don't get that mindset. I really don't. You're allowed to have your opinion, but why would you edit something that clearly we didn't start, but, we finished it, but we ain't started? Why would you do a body cam edit of black people defending black people? Is that the illusion of inclusion? Is it Stockholm Syndrome? 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique di Prima for KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's free application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Spa Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Ew. Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Find a righteous range, and don't be afraid to say what you see. For KBLA Talk 1580.
A couple quick things. I love the memes and the conversation that have been put forward, and the emphasis on what happens when we are united. By the Riverboat Brawl, as they call it, people got T-shirts, memes, folks trying to declare it a national holiday. I mean, I think that's good. That's good conversation. These are the things that make people think about, all the different ways that scenario could have gone. And I should have said that Marlon Wayans, I think the other thing that really made people angry besides the body cam edit was the fact that he said, how about we not try that in a small town? Quoting that song and then said, silly ish bro or something like that. Yeah. And that song, that Jason Aldean song, is don't try that in a small town. It's, filmed in front of a courthouse where the black teenagers was lynched. Clearly, it had footage of Black Lives Matter, which they later took out. It's clearly a pro-lynching, anti-black song. So why would you quote that? To me, that sounds like Stockholm Syndrome. But I don't, I don't know. I don't know Marlon Wayans. I've never met him. From what I have met him once. From what I understand, he actually has donated to progressive causes. A little bird tells me. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just deeply confused. The other thing I should say is regarding Tory Lanez, I'm not suggesting he should necessarily get 22 years or the 13 years that prosecutors are asking for. I'm conflicted because I do not think it's a good idea to send the message that it's okay to shoot a black woman in the foot and then subject her to ridicule. And as Megan Thee Stallion said, she hasn't had a day of peace since then. A lot of people, she's now the subject of all these conspiracy theories about how she supposedly wasn't really shot, she this and that. I mean, your life becomes a QAnon episode. That's terrible. That's terrible. And I don't think but I never want to see, whenever possible, I'd rather not see a black man go to jail. I think there's something to be said for rehab. So I'm not trying to say he should do 22 years. What I'm trying to say is this is what's happening. And it's odd to me that a police chief in Missouri would think it was a good idea to show leniency to a man who who's convicted of shooting a woman in the foot with little provocation, no justification, and then lie about it and disparage her, right? 800-920-1580. If you want to say something about any of the things I have said, I welcome the conversation on this Talking Point Tuesday on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Dominique di Prima for KBLA Talk 1580. Are you worried about your credit score? Well, look, you can rebuild it. There are lots of factors that go into determining your credit score, but one of the most effective ways to improve your score is to consistently pay your bills on time, over time. If you're forgetful about payments, like me, try automating your bill payments. That way, all your creditors get paid on time, and you'll have freed yourself of trying to remember. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it. Together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
For everybody on the Talking Point Tuesday, Republican economist Michael Austin is up next. Never met the guy before, but it's Talking Point Tuesday, so he'll be in the building. Going right now, though, well, on the phone. Going right now to Dee from Long Beach. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind today?
I want to preface this by saying this is not to toot my own horn, but I observed a picket line on Saturday, and what was striking was how powerless a man beating on a drum seemed to be. Yet others' vibes was, to paraphrase Patrick Buchanan, go home, Toby. I told him I support you, but you will not support me, and I told him that was wrong. I encountered one black woman wearing cornrows. I told her that Hispanic men over 60 are racist as ish.
Okay, I'm not sure that I'm getting everything that you're trying to say here. So you went to a picket line and it was one guy?
No.
Okay.
There were several people. Several people.
Because you said that you were struck by how powerless a man beating a drum was. And so you meant that metaphorically in terms of all people on strike?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said that there was a woman with cornrows. What did that have to do with it?
Well, she was a black woman, so naturally I greeted her.
Oh, she was the only black woman out there on strike?
The only black person I saw.
Okay, got it. And then the other people were Latinos?
Predominantly. Yeah, we know that to be true.
Over 50? Or over 60?
I don't know about over 50, but my point is with the age reference is that I think Hispanic men over 60 tend to be racist.
When it comes to the anti-blackness in the Latino community, my understanding of it is often based on just like
shade.
anyone else. No, well, there's shade, but it's not always shade because self-hate is a thing. I think it's people that have been here longer tend to be less racist, although, unless they're in a gang. Latinos I'm talking about, because they have more experience with us and less just accepting the TV stereotypes and white supremacist propaganda, which is sent out worldwide.
But they're more racist than, say, a Chicano would be, right?
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. A Chicano is somebody who's been here their whole life, and probably is politically active, right? So I'm just saying, I don't think it's just age. I think it has to do with your relationship to the African American community, your experience with us, or to the black people, I should say, worldwide.
Right.
Interesting point, Steve. We'll have to follow up on that as we continue, because I think a lot to unpack there. Right now, though, it's time for news, traffic, and sports. And then my new Republican friend on a Talking Point Tuesday, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Crews are working to restore power across some areas of the eastern U.S. after storms battered the region Monday. At least 2 people were killed and more than 1 million people lost power at the height of the outages. Tornado watches and warnings stretched across 10 states from Tennessee to New York, with high winds sending power lines into homes and roads. A mother from Los Angeles, California is suing Southwest Airlines for racial discrimination, claiming employees accused her of trafficking her biracial daughter. In 2021, the mother, who is white, was flying with her then 10-year-old daughter, who was half black, from San Jose to Denver. The woman says police were waiting for she and her daughter when they landed in Denver. They were eventually allowed to leave after getting questioned by officers. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source.